I'm seeing a lot of people that live in and around Boston now wanting to invest in Boston.
Mm.
They feel that people will be coming back and they want to own rental property.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, where we connect you with various locations, realtors, and lifestyles worldwide. Today, we have a very special guest. Cheryl, did you want to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Karen Landry. Welcome, Karen. Karen Landry, the team leader for Landry & Co. Realty Group, has been affiliated with RE/MAX for 30 out of the 32 years as a licensed realtor. She is a Lifetime Achievement Hall of Fame Award, Diamond Award winner, as well as having a consistent presence in the RE/MAX of New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, top 25. Karen is a Diamond team leader with a concierge manager, buyer's agent, and graphic designer. With sales exceeding over $40 million a year, she specializes in relocation and working with the medical community, offering real estate services and facilitating specialized financing. Additionally, Karen has held offices as the National WCR, which is the Women's Council, Marketing Chair, the Mass WCR State President, and Regional WCR Vice President, and served on the National WCR Budget and Finance and Strategic Planning Committees. These positions also earned her the Massachusetts WCR Member of the Year Award. Skills include negotiation in competitive markets, buyer consultation, and analyzing market data. She is a single mom of 2 young adults and lives in the Metro West area. Her current love is her new cockapoo, Winston. Welcome, Karen and Winston.
Thank you, ladies. It's always fun to see you girls, just not often enough.
No, exactly. Well, I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. It was very nice of you to ask.
So that is quite a resume that you have.
I'm old. I just need to know the long-term effects of Clairol.
32 years in this industry. That's not too common, right? With the attrition rate of 20% every year, the fact that you've been able to not only be in the business for this long, but have, accomplished what you have is just incredible.
Thank you. No, I'm very blessed, and I honestly cannot think of doing anything else. It's something that I feel very good at and I enjoy for most days. We all have those days, right? But for the long term, I've met a lot of incredible people along the way, such as yourselves. And, these are lifelong friends, and clients become life friends, and it's about the relationships first.
So tell us a little bit more about what you're experiencing. What are you seeing in today's market in the areas that you serve, and what areas do you serve?
Sure. So I work all of the greater Boston area and Metro West out into the burbs of Worcester County. So it's about a 45-minute geographical location, circumference-wise. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you do that much area? But when you've done this as long as I have, and the fact that our clients are not looking in just one town, they're looking in geographical areas, either for accessibility to be able to commute to work, or perhaps they are concerned about what are the best school systems, and they're willing to live in either of multiple towns as long as it's a good school system for their family. So with that said, you start learning the entire geographical area. When you've done this for 32 years, it just becomes one big city town sign. It just changes on the roadside. That's it. So with that said, we are in a very, very competitive market. With the interest rates being as low as they are, we're seeing more and more buyers coming out of the woodwork, especially since the COVID pandemic has happened. We're finding a lot of people moving to the burbs. And so that's what I do on that Zoom call. I really try to listen to the buyer's needs and to try to dissect where it is we need to go with them.
So I love
to see you too. They know you before they even get here. And that's really important. It gives them some comfort level because it's very, very anxious for them to be moving across the country.
No, it is. And I think you're so true with the consultative approach, listening to them. And like you said, a lot of people have trouble listening to what people's needs are and being able to really point out what they're looking for, but in a nice professional manner and sort of like hone them in. So I think that is great. So can we talk a little bit about the lifestyle in your area?
So it depends on where I am. So I live in the burbs, which is very comfortable. We have lots of shopping, we have trails, we have biking paths, we have great community here where people get together, a lot of professionals in the area as well, a lot of networking that goes on. And if you're in the city, well, say no more, it's Boston, right? And there's so much to do in Boston. I think one of the great things of our area is that we can be down in your neck of the woods in Connecticut in an hour and 20 minutes. We can be on the New Hampshire border in 45. We can be in Maine in an hour. We can be in Rhode Island in 45 minutes. So we're really in such a great locale. And that's one of my favorite things to share with people when they're relocating is just how many great opportunities they have for day trips or weekends when they come here, because we're so fortunate to be in the middle of it all.
Speaking of the proximity to, Boston and the transportation, may you speak to that a little bit as far as how people get around if they don't have, if they want to participate in mass transit?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So we have trains that come from the burbs, like in Worcester and Grafton and Westboro. All the boroughs actually have a train stop, including Natick and Framingham. There's different lines that run from the burbs into Boston. We also have rails that go from Boston to Providence or from Worcester to Providence. If you're in the city, you have everything from Ubers, cabs, trains, or walkability. So there's a lot of different options, whether you're in the burbs or whether you're in the city, to get around. And, you can usually access the city within 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic.
Oh, in Connecticut, for example, we've seen a lot of New Yorkers come into Connecticut, but then as things are loosening, we're seeing a lot of people from New York that moved to Connecticut saying, you know what, I want that New York City lifestyle, and they're moving back. Are you seeing kind of the flip-floppers at all, or what are you guys experiencing?
I'm seeing a lot of people that live in and around Boston now wanting to invest in Boston. They feel that people will be coming back and they want to own rental property. I have 2 people right now that are looking for investments in Boston. Boston has always been a transient city because of the bio-life sciences and the medical community. When you figure Massachusetts alone has over 30,000 physicians, and the bio-life sciences include the pharmaceutical companies, the research companies. It's just so transient. And that, when you couple that with the numbers of universities and colleges that we have in the city and the need for rental housing, it's just an investor's dream, right? And I don't feel that we'll ever be in a drought. We did have a little bit of a mass exodus last spring. It was difficult to rent because so many people were working from home, which meant young adults were even going back home to work because they were working remotely. Students, of course, were not in person, so they were all going home. And with the moratorium on evictions, landlords were just kind of stuck, right? But now we're seeing people kind of flock back to the city again. As a matter of fact, one of the very first really, really nice days before our mask mandate was lifted, I went into the city, this is about 2 months ago, and I circled for an hour and a half before I could find a parking spot.
Unreal. And
Yes.
now, as far as like someone that does that makes that type of conversion of the home, generally speaking, is it a huge risk as far as like the value is concerned? Or when they purchase and do that renovation, that massive renovation, is their value pretty protected based on the pricing, would you say?
I think it depends on the area. It's a good question. I think it depends on the area. And I think it also depends on that point in time. What are the needs of people at that time? What is the demand? But I always try to tell people, if you're doing a lot of these changes for your own enjoyment, then what you have to remember is that you're making money 3 different ways. When you're paying down your equity with your monthly payment every month, your tax advantage, and hopefully appreciation, that your value is always going to be there. It's not like the stock market where you could lose it all in your shares.
So Karen, for our viewers that may not be local to Boston, the relocating, can you describe a little bit about your seasons and the climate that you experience in Boston, in the Boston areas?
Well, on Monday, it's winter. On Tuesday, it's summer. I think it's 92, 93 today. You might actually hear a thunderstorm any minute because it's getting pretty dark and we're supposed to have some severe thunderstorms. But I came back from North Carolina a week ago and I think it was in the 40s. It was like 47 one day and then it was 93 the next. So that's true. And I have a picture of Winston in April in the snowstorm. So it can change, but I don't feel our winters have been very harsh the last few years, but we do experience all 4 seasons. And I will say sometimes we skip from winter to summer and we don't really have much of a spring, but for the most part, that's one of the things that's so nice about here, because as I mentioned earlier, you can be in the mountains, you can be at the ocean, you can be at the lake. And then when you couple that with 4 seasons on top of it, you can do anything you want in New England.
That being said, Karen, where can people find you?
I'm pretty easy to find, KarenLandry.com. And my email is Karen@KarenLandry.com. And any questions or anyone ever has the need for a resource, feel free to reach out.
Awesome, Karen. Well, thank you so much. It's been so great spending some time with you, catching up. And I know our viewers are just going to love everything you've shared. So thank you again.
Thank you. So nice to see you girls.